Yo, what is good, traders? It's your boy Nestor, back here again with another review of the morning session today. Today is January 20th, and let's get straight to it. So, yeah, as you can see, this week, oh my God, had the biggest new week opening gap I've ever seen in my life, around almost 800 ticks plus, okay? And so when I hopped on the charts, all right, I saw that we were actually going away from the what's called the new open gap. We weren't automatically filling it in. So I was like, all right, let's keep on observing. So I went down to the 1 hour, okay? Mind you, this is like 9:30. I'm looking at it. So I'm seeing like this big candle, okay? And I'm like, all right. So it seems like, market structure. Okay, so this is my analysis, all right? 4 hour time frame. Market structure is bearish, okay? But on the 4 hour, it just hit this 4 hour I don't even have that as an option. Okay, but it hit this 4 hour BISI, okay? And this BISI to me looks very strong, very powerful, right? And I was like, all right, there's gonna be some resistance coming up right here, okay? So let's drop down to the 1 hour. And when I was at the charts at around 1 or around 9, I saw that price was retracing back from this 4 hour. So I was like, okay, we're getting a pullback. 1 hour market structure still bearish. 4 hour market structure, it's still bearish. But of course, though, we have this 4 hour BISI, which gave me the idea that okay, we're probably gonna have a retracement coming up, likely. Okay, so let's drop down to 15-minute. And so I waited until the 9:30 opening. When I saw this 9:30 opening, this humongous bullish 15-minute candle, okay, in my head, two things popped up. All right, we are retracing. My idea that we are retracing from this 4 hour, BISI. BISI is correct. All right. And also another idea popped in my head was that, low key, maybe price might do an aggressive pull up that breaks market structure, goes for these highs, liquidity, and goes and taps the new week, the new week open gap. Okay. So that was going on my mind. But the whole time though, when I looked at the ES, I was realizing that the ES is bearish. It's lagging behind compared to the Nasdaq. So I kept that in mind. Okay, this whole session, the ES wasn't exactly bullish like how the Nasdaq was. The Nasdaq today was more on the bullish side, and the ES was more on the bearish side. Okay, so there was divergence going on that I was trying to keep track of this whole time, right? So I saw this, big 15-minute candle. Okay, let's drop down. So here's my thought process. All right. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're bullish now. Let's look for a trade, all right? And this trading session, I kind of wasn't really focused because I was driving because I had to go to a meeting in the morning around 11. So this is kind of like on and off, right? So some of these trades might not be that great. But I saw, price was retracing. It reversed at this 15-minute BISI and went up and it broke structure, okay? And it took this high. So I was like, all right. I think this is we're bullish, we're retracing. So let me hop on this 1 minute BISI right here, okay? I was trying to go and join up in this right up here, this high of this BISI right here for a trade entry, but that wasn't following my risk management rules, which is maximum 150 ticks for my stop loss. So I had to drop it down all the way here. But actually, price did drop there, and it immediately went up higher. And when I saw that, I was feeling it, bro. I was like, oh shoot, bro, I'm like the king of this joint. Like, we finna kill it now. But nah, it reversed on me, and I got out right here at this candle because I saw that, and that was no bueno to me. When I saw this indecisive 5-minute candle being formed right here, this one right here, I was like, okay, that does not look good. That isn't what I'm expecting from this strong bullish, because I was expecting in my mind a strong bullish leg up, but it didn't. It just produced indecisive 5-minute bearish candle, okay? So that completely made me unconfident in my idea that price was just gonna boom up. So, I waited. I was like, maybe price might take this low out then go higher. It did, but no, it dropped even lower, and it went below this 1 minute BISI. So I was like, okay, it's time to pull out. All right, so pause. I got out, okay, took a minor loss right here. And I kept on watching the markets, all right? Kept on watching the market. We went back up to the higher time frame, all right? So let's go to actually to 15 minutes. So this 15-minute indecisive candle formed, and I'm like, all right, you know what? We are still bullish on the 15-minute time frame, okay? And on the 1 hour, it looks like we are likely retracing back up, okay? But at the same time, though, I was kind of conflicted. I was like, yo, are we bearish, though? Because, the ES was like, has this bearish divergence going on, all right? But I was like, you know what? Let me trust the market structure that I'm currently on, which is the 15-minute. Because, higher time frames kind of like, okay, so lower time frames submits to the high time frames. But for the higher time frames to play out, the lower time frames have to go through their structures and breaking of structures and all that stuff, right? Okay, so there's a process and order to it, right? So I was like, you know what? Price likely in the 15-minute is not just going to go rip it down. They're probably going to try to go down because we're bullish right now on the 15-minute. It's probably going to, go down, try to go back up, and then break lower, okay? But I knew for certain that price is at least going to go back down, retrace, and then try at least one more time to go back up to take out liquidity or anything. So I was like, let me watch it now, okay? So I'm watching. Oh, I wish I could change my pointer. How do I change my pointer? Okay, well, let's just change my pointer to something that you guys can follow more easily, hopefully. Damn, bro. Arrow marker? No. Oh, here it is. An arrow, okay? So let's take this trade out, okay? Because it's just getting in the way. So I was like, all right, I'm waiting right here. I'm watching this right here. So I knew price was like, all right, price is probably going to go to the 50-minute BSC, okay? Let's see how it reacts, all right? So let's drop down to the 1 minute. So, yeah, I'm watching price, it's chopping up, what I'm saying? Then it takes this low, okay? Takes this low while inside the 50-minute BSC, and I see this huge, explosive, fat, 1 minute, 1 minute candle. And I'm like, wow. That is exactly what I was thinking, that, okay, price is going to go down to 15-minute BSC and then go back up, okay? But what I didn't like about that was that it was it's humongous, bro. Like, look at this. Look at it, bro. It was, this one tick this one candle is 240 ticks. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, bro. And me personally, I don't like getting in on trades with humongous candles like this. I personally don't. So I didn't feel comfortable joining in that. And I also didn't feel comfortable joining in on this order block right here because I don't know. It just that the Nasdaq, the ES, is bearish. That has this bearish divergence, and like the higher time frame is still in like this retracement kind of mode. And I honestly don't know how far this bullish move is willing to go. So all these kind of like doubts and everything and fears kind of filled my head up, and I decided not to do anything. So I held my hands, I put my hands on my butt, and I just watched it go up, okay? And then it retraced, all right? And when it was retracing, I was like, hold up. On the 5 minute, this is what it looked like. 5 minute did a nice big chunk up, hit the old New Week open gap, and then reversed and for, retracement. So I was like, oh, this is looking good. This is typical, bullish market structure. So let me try to look for another entry. That's what I was thinking, okay? So I'm trying to look now for another entry, okay? Again, typical by a sell side sweep, then going up. But the problem is, again, bro, it just Hadoukened up. And Hadoukened up, and I again just didn't feel comfortable joining this, so I waited. All right, and then I took this trade right here. This was an impulsive trade, real talk. This was very much an impulsive trade. I went 10 ticks out of my stop loss management, and again, I just want to let everyone know that these trades right here, they're not even demo trades even. They're just me putting on this risk to reward type of thing, and that's it. So there's no even like even demo trading with the sell or buy. It's just straight up just putting this this fake trade or whatever thing on here, okay? So I just immediately popped it on here, okay, and I watched this go down, all right? And on the 5 minute, when I saw this bullish, I forgot what it's called, but this small body, bullish 5 minute with a long wick to the upside, I was like, oh, fuck, bro. I think I'm cooked. And I was cooked. And I got out right here, this candle, basically taking that full-on loss of a trade right here. So, yeah, at that point, I was like, damn, that's unfortunate. I didn't expect it to, to retrace like that. And I just kept on watching price, okay, and I'm on the 15-minute time frame now. And I'm kind of really indecisive about what exactly is going on here, because like this 15-minute candle right here isn't the best, what you want to see. If you want to see continuous upside, you'd normally want to see a big fat chunk up, but no, it just did a retracement down and then just stopped at like this 15-minute small body. And on the hourly too, it's already been retracing aggressively. It needs to do some kind of retracement, okay? Because it's still bearish, actually. The market structure is still bearish on the 1 hour time frame, okay? And also the 4 hour time frame is looking like this. So everything's still looking bearish on the higher time frame. So I'm like, okay, I think definitely price is going to start reversing at this new week opening gap, or this old new week opening gap. That's what it looks like. That's why the momentum is like slowing down. We're getting all this chop here, okay? So I'm waiting for that, okay? I'm like, all right, I think we're going to go down. So I see this right here. I see this big fat move right here. I'm like, okay, bet. I think this is the one. But this time though, again, I don't really like big drops like this and entering them with no like order block anywhere near. But I was like, you know what? My risk management I still went 8 ticks above, but I was like, this is not bad, okay? So, I joined in on it, okay? I see it drop immediately. I'm like, that's great news. And then I see reverse immediately back up to take out that. And honestly, at that point right there, okay, when I was looking at this 5 minute right here, this big fat 5 minute candle, I was like, that don't look good. That don't look good to me. This big 15-minute candle right here, that's what it finished off. I was like, that don't look good to me. This looks like, price just went down, sweep the low right here, and is reversing back up, okay? So I got out the trade right here, okay? And as you guys can see, as we watch the later moves now, after I was done with my meeting and I got back on the charts, we can see that price did reverse, as what the higher time frame was showing us. 4 hour was still bearish, 1 hour still bearish. It was just doing a big retracement back, and it hit, it filled in the imbalances here, the SIBIs, and it also hit the order block, took out this buy side right here. Fill in this 1 hour imbalance, and then it hit this, breaker block right here, and also the new week opening gap. Me personally, I rely more on the new week opening gap. I feel like they're much more powerful confluences that I do see price respect a lot more than breaker blocks or stuff like that. So, yeah, as you see, price did fall through with that, and that's today's trading session. Yeah, it definitely was really interesting. A lot of chop, a lot of me trying to like figure out what was going on. I did get cooked. I ain't gonna lie. I think I took like 180 to 200 ticks of negative P&L, which is around 3% of my normal daily 10% risk that I'm willing to lose. So that's not terrible. It's all right. But unfortunate though that I didn't get a winning trade and stuff like that. But definitely though, one thing I'm very proud about is that like I'm starting to really understand market structure better, or like at least understand like how price really is attracted to liquidity, and like understanding like and getting a feel for when like the price wants to reverse and hit like these like new week opening gaps, 4 hour bitsies, and just like my general like skills of looking at and trusting the higher time frames and market structure, because that's something that I really struggle with. And yeah, as you guys can see now though, in the 1 hour, it went up to this new gap, hit a big old reverse. Yeah, so it seems like we are continuing bearish for the rest of, I guess, for right now currently. I do think though that price will eventually go back to fill this. If not, and it's just left open, well, that just tells us that price is eventually going to reverse if it keeps on going down. But yeah, that's today's update, boys. Hopefully, you guys are learning through my mistakes, my experiences. I try to be as real as possible. Like I personally don't really like showing that like I'm failing, or not failing, but like I'm taking L trades. Doesn't feel great, but it's the process, and it's the reality of being a trader, is that you're not gonna win everything, and you're definitely gonna struggle. FOMO, fear, doubts, over trading, all that stuff. I've experienced it all. I still do it sometimes here and there. I'm not perfect anywhere, but that's the whole point of me showing this, is to show you guys what an average person, trading like is. So, yeah. Love you guys. You know, just started my YouTube channel, so we'll see how this goes. But I'll keep on going, keep on posting, because I do have a serious passion for this jump. And yeah, peace.